Hello everyone, this is Asian Man here, and I have a Guns Modified Scar L gas blowback bolt carrier group in front of me. And the whole reason why I'm making this video is because I will be trying out the Federal End Pass. It has worked well for me in other guns, or not Guns Modified, Tokyo Marui MWS models, and also Double Eagle N4 with a Guns Modified 3.5 nozzle. Since you cannot use Double Eagle's stock nozzle. But anyways, what you're going to need is a Phillips Zero screwdriver. In this case, I'm using a iFixit kit, not sponsored. You're going to need a 3mm Allen key to remove 2 screws, and then I have a 1.5mm here to adjust the Federal End Pass. So this is not required to disassemble the bolt carrier at all. It's just when I'm installing it needs it. So, and then there is an E-clip that needs to remove, so I will be using a flathead to remove it. So. And actually, you will need one more thing, and it's going to be a bag of goodies that comes with the Guns Modify Scar L. So there's a specific screw in here that we're going to need to pull out. So it's going to be in a bag full of some other screw and a pin. And just from first look of the screw, it looks like an M3. And that's why I have a random screw on the table with a 3D printed measuring tool for different types of screw, for metric screws at least. So there we go. So, and what's interesting in the Guns Modify manual is you use this to help align the nozzle spring back into the bolt carrier group for when reassembling. So, first we're going to measure how big this is. So with this 3D print, it's about 16mm long by 3mm. Cool. And then I have one here I pulled from an organizer that I have. It's marked as a M3 by 16. So we'll measure here. So it's 16mm long. M3. So, and where this screw goes is it's going to go into this threading that's in the back of the nozzle spring. There you go. And to prove that this M3 works, there you go. See, does not come off. So I'm going to take this off. The whole reason I'm showing this is just in case if you lose the one that comes with the gun, you can always use an M3 screw that you can get from where I'm located, Ace Hardware. You can buy a kit from Amazon. So there you go, or McMaster. So I screwed the screw that came with the kit onto the nozzle spring, the back of the nozzle spring. And then next, we're going to want to remove this top piece. But first, we also want to remove this shifting piece real quick. Put that to the side. And then now we'll get our M3 Allen key, and we will loosen these 2 screws. These out of the box are Loctite, but you do not need heat, just some good force. So in my case, I've already disassembled this once or twice. So put the screw to the side for now. And keep in mind, before you lift this bar from the lower piece, or where the nozzle is sitting, is there are going to be 4 rollers. I assume they're faux rollers. I don't see any use for them if they're getting retained. But anyways, 4 rollers on this upper piece. So they may roll off. So it's best to stand it up, then lift. And then I'm going to tilt it to the side. And one of the rollers may fall off. I'm going to put my hand under. So here's the 4 rollers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they come right off. So be aware of that when disassembly. So I'm going to put them back on to the side. Then next, right? we are going to want to remove the E-clip. So I'm going to grab my trusty flathead, and as you can see, it has tons of scratches because I suck at this. So I'm going to take our time here. I'm going to put my finger, because the way the E-clip is set up, it looks, and the pressure I'm about to put on it, it can move towards this direction, and I do not want to have it fly into my parts, and then I have to dig through it through the video, so, or do the edit. So I'm going to try my best here. There we go. Fingers in good area. There's the E-clip to the side. And then we have one more piece. It's going to be a retainer. So this retainer here is to prevent the nozzle from traveling too far forward. So what we're going to do to remove this, and as another precaution, is it has two detents, two silver detents in your view. It's going to be the top and the bottom. So you're going to want your nozzle all the way back. Oh, maybe it's best to have this screw removed. But I think you'll be able to remove it here. Yep. So the movement that I'm doing here is I'm going to lift it, have my index finger under, and then slowly shift the lower portion of the bolt carrier up to keep those detents in. And they should just fall right off. There you go. And the detents are still in this housing. They can fall out. As you can see, both of them can fall out. So be careful when disassembling this. You need these. So I'm going to slide them back in here for now. Go, put that to the side. And then you should be able to remove the nozzle, no issues. So next, I need to remove the rocket valve. But first, that requires to remove this nozzle spring. So you're going to actually need to lift the piston head off. So I'm going to use this flathead again to pry between the piston head and the nozzle. Slowly lift, take it off to the side. And then we're going to remove the screw that's keeping the nozzle spring in. Take your time with this. And with Guns Modified, they have an O-ring here to help seal that screw hole. It's interesting that they do that because Unicorn doesn't do it, stock Togemurui doesn't do it, Double Eagle doesn't do it, T8 CGS does not do it either. So go. And you should be able to remove the nozzle spring with no issues. There you go. Then we will pop out the rocket valve and the rocket valve spring. So what's interesting about this, the gun out of the box, is you're able to hear a twang. The twang is coming from the nozzle spring. And my first thought was maybe they didn't install a flexible tube inside. They have, as you can see here. But there's the twang is pretty noticeable. So you could try to add some lubricant to help dampen that sound. But I do not have a solution to fix this. This spring does look like it is 150% spring that they sell separately. So, but now we need to test to make sure the federal end pass works within the nozzle. So first we're going to put these screws back into the upper portion of the bolt carrier. Then we will this, and then screw, actually, I'm going to back out a little bit. 2, 3, go. Spring in. Then I'm going to take my time with this. end pass has been a little difficult. Go. So what we want to test to make sure is the federal end pass moves freely within the nozzle. Go. Not a lot of effort. So that's good to go. Back out. What I like to do is I do this. I key it with the nozzle spring. Take it real slow. Go. You can see it's gone through. Next, we want to rotate it over. And then we want to align the nozzle spring, the whole of the nozzle itself to get the screw back in. Yes, I'm left-handed and it sucks. Halfway through, I'm going to swap hands. Tilt this forward a bit to be perpendicular to the nozzle. Take your time when screwing in. There you go. It's good. It's just a bit more tension. Voila. Next, we want to test for adjustment of the nozzle or the Federal Concepts end pass. I can key it in. There we go. Go is adjusting. No issues at all. So these grub screws come with these federal end passes come with an M3, or what mine came with was an M3x6. I think the newer ones are coming with an M3.5. So just keep that in mind. But I sometimes change, or with my other models, I've changed the ones I have in like the Torinoe and the Double Eagles is I've changed the grub screw to an M3x8 just to make sure that it doesn't accidentally like go past the threading and then get stuck. So that's what I've done. But also make sure you Loctite your grub screws. But there we go. So make sure that the O-ring on the nozzle spring is there, and then we need to reattach the piston head. There you go. Apply some lube. Go. Then we will slide this back into the bolt carrier. So this is when the screw comes in handy. There you go. Voila. And then next, we shall install the E-clip. So the E-clip should be installed the same direction it was removed. It looks like it may interfere with something within the gun itself. So best to install it proper direction. Grab my trusty flathead. Apply some pressure. And try not to lean your nozzle on your table. There we go. It's the E-clip. There we go. Clean things up. Okay. There we go. Next, We're going to do the retainer. Make sure your detents are there. So what we're going to do is we're going to face the bolt carrier vertically. Then squeeze it in slowly. Then there you go. Some pressure, test, put your finger here. Good to go. Now you can remove the screw. And then we will grab the upper piece. Make sure all 4 rollers are there before you slide into on top. The nozzle housing. Now grab it in all the way. Then we will get this metal piece. There you go. That is how you disassemble and reassemble the nozzle into the bolt carrier. You guys have a good one.